So we're back now to do the second part of the car. So that was the first part that we did, or whichever which way you want to do it. So that's back part of it. And as you can see, I haven't done the quilting or the snowflake on this one, but obviously the design as well has got the snowflake on this next bit and the quilting, but I'm going to not put it on this one either because I like to be different. So step one is going to be the tap down stitch for the wadding, batting, whatever you call it, whichever country you're watching from. Us in UK call it wadding. I think in USA it's batting. Batting. Yeah. I'm from Yorkshire, so there's no. We tend to drop some vowels and consonants off on the street. Well, I do anyway. We don't say the, put it in. So yeah, I'm very broad Yorkshire, so you may need a subtitle to my videos. Who knows? The subtitles don't always bode very well either. So right, that is the first step, is the wadding. Now, the second one is going to be putting the fabric on top and it's going to go around. But again, I'm going to skip that and go straight on. I've got sunlight now. I'm going to go straight on to step 3. So when I've trimmed this down, I'm going to forward it to step 3. There's no point in putting that on. So I know that it's going to come over. I've got a little bit of grey at the bottom, but that doesn't matter. So I'm going to fast forward it just one, just to skip that step out. So I'm going to skip step, flipping it. I'm going to skip step 2 and go straight into step 3 once I've trimmed around this. Just a word to the wise as well with this block. This card, there's 2 ways that you can do it. There's a front facing to the left or facing to the right. So for this one, I'm going to need the one that I've got here facing to the right. So the cab going that way. But there is ones that you can do. I might do that for the next one, going the other way. Depends which way you want it going. So just to be aware. What else were I going to say? I forgot. So yeah, so now I'm going to do step 3, which is going to be the tack down. I've left a bit of a gap there because that's where the grey bit goes, my road, if you like. So this is step 3. So step 4 is going to be the quilting again. So I'm going to go forward then to step 5, which then is going to be the line going across. So if you wanted the quilting, that is step 4. This is the line going across. So with right sides together, pop that against that, and then it's going to sew a line across. And then step 6 is going to be the one that seals it in. So, okie dokie. So as you can see, I've just done step 6, which is this sealy bit. You see that bit at the bottom there. So you make sure you'd like finger press it so you don't make it bubbly. Now, also obviously I've cut around here. Forgot to mention that I've cut that bit out, so it's not, you're not going to have the bulk. So now we've got step 7, which is going to be the outline of the car. I do stitch this one because otherwise I'm going to be wasting too much of the fabric. You don't really need to do all this lot, but while you're doing it, may as well. Make sure, like I said before, you're leaving the half-inch, at least half-inch seam allowance. So can you see now? That's the outline with red fabric from your car. Obviously, you want it the same fabric as what you've already used for the back. So I've got this glittery rose effect here. So this is going to be now the tack down stitch. So step 8 is the tack down stitch for the car body. Literally near with sunlight and daylight, so apologies if it's not really clear. So step 9 now is going to be the satin stitch just to seal all this red, this car. I've just kept my threading because it was red, obviously. So this is step 9. So that's going to just go all the way around there. I'll let that do that. So I've just stitched step 11, sorry, step 10 out, which is the placement stitch. So I'm going to do the tack down stitch now, which is step 11. So I'm going to tack down, this is the wheel. So this is step 11, tack down in the, tacking the wheel down. Like I said before, if you're going to put your fingers in, just be careful. So what you need to do now, obviously, is trim around there. And then the next stage is going to be 12, which is going to be the sealing stitch, the satin stitch that's going to seal this stitch in here. So I've got to trim around it, and then the next one is the satin stitch. I'm just doing step 12. I've changed to black. It's now going to the satin stitch across this bottom bit. That's where we're at. We're just sealing that stitching seaming. I've used vinyl, but you can use anything you want. 13 is the star little wheel trim thingy. You can do a different colour if you want. I like mine to match front and back. So, same colour grey that I've used at the back, I'm going to be using on the front. So it's that little star. This is going to be doing. So we're on step 13 of 23. We're on step 14, which is going to be, it says applique material, but it's not. It's the front light. So I'm doing mine in yellow, as my kids used to say, yellow. So that is the step number 14. So what's next? Number 15. So again, that is going to be going round the wheel trim. So we don't need to stitch number 15. So I'm going to fast forward it to step 16. So now this is going to stitch down the wheel trim. I've got Sims, but I've got on the back this red, whatever it is. So that's going to stitch around that. As you can see, it's been stitched round. So what you need to do now is trim all that and then pop your colour in to go around that trim, because that's the next step. So number 17 is going to be the satin stitch to seal all this stitching. So don't forget to change your colour, the one that coordinates with the back. I've done mine in red. So this is step 17, so it's going to stitch all the way around here with that nice thick satin stitch. Trim as close as what you can to the stitching without trimming the stitching. Next is the placement stitch for the window. So you need to stitch that, because then you need to trim out the middle bit, because you're going to put mylar in it. And if you don't trim the middle bit out, you don't have to put mylar in. That's this thin stuff. You'll have seen it before if you've been following. This thin stuff. So what you need to do now, if you're going to put mylar in, is trim around where it's just stitched. Can you see that middle bit? I've done it in red so you can't really see it. So just be careful not to trim wadding. Put your scissors in. Let me pull it a little bit so you can see. Right. Put your scissors in there, just push it to the top, and then you see your arm. And just let your scissors do the work. If you pull the fabric up, you're not going to trim through that wadding. Because like I said, if you don't take this away, you will see the fabric underneath. It's entirely up to you how you do it, but you'd see fabric. So trim this away, and then, like I said to you before as well, if you're following all the video, I've not read the instructions for this on Sweet Pea. So I do recommend you do read the instructions. So now I think step 19 is the tack down stitch. Yeah, it is, for the miler. So Sweet Pea used to sell this. This one's from a different company that I'm using at minute. I don't know who it's from. Let's have a look. No, I've not got a clue. So just cut a little square out. Place that over. Now I'm going to change my thread here to white. Let me have a look what colours I've done others. Yeah, I think I've done those. Might be pale blue actually. Yeah, I will do pale blue. I think it matters, but do pale blue. So I'm going to do pale blue. Excuse my arms again. To seal the actual miler down, and then the middle bit it'll be pale blue as well. You'll see in a second. So this is going to stitch down the miler to begin with. Again, watch your fingers. Now leave the miler in place, and then the next one is going to be that little squiggly thing that seals it all down. So like the meander stitch to seal it all down. And set that going so you can just see it then. We're going to stitch all inside of here. And then you can tear the mylar away. So it's just done step 20. So what I do here is tear it away, but you can trim it. Just stick to your fingers. Right. Like I say, you don't have to use mylar. You can just do fabric there if you want. Just get scissors in to take that last bit off. And then let it move. And then the next step is going to be the colour that goes around the window. So that is step 21. That was stitching step 21, the window. So now I'm going to do step 22, which is the door handle. I'm going to do that in blue as well, the same colour. Why not? The last step is going to be the snowflakes again, as you can see there. But I haven't done the snowflakes on the other parts. I'm not doing some this one either. I have on some of them, but just not them all. So for me now, on step 22, I'm finished. But if you're following, following it on, step 23 is a snowflake. So that's my next block to go with that one. Very nice. So don't forget, like I said before, when you take it off the hoop, if you're going to cut round it, you need to leave half an inch all the way around. Okie dokie. Got a mark on that because I'm eating some toast. to wipe off. So yeah, so that's another block, couple of blocks done. So thank you for watching. And if you don't want to miss the videos, like I say, if you subscribe, you get then prompts when there's a new video on.